Welcome back to another episode of Non-Reader Response. That's right, we have two lovely ladies, Lady Catherine and G Mama, who are going to spend time with us, giving us their thoughts and predictions based on episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Before we dive into it, let's make sure you give us a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell because we are live streaming and you don't want to miss out on anything we're putting out. It's really a great time to be a Wheel of Time fan.
Indeed. Yeah. We're doing stuff all over the place. It's fun. It's a good time, and we should and here we are with our non-readers, our only show watchers, and our family members. So I like these conversations. This is episode 3 called A Place of Safety. Does that mean anything to you just off the bat?
That's funny. You just said that, and I'm like, is that what it was called?
Really? Because that's so
As soon as you said that, I'm like, what is the place? They're all in different places.
I see.
I feel like, yeah, interesting. I feel like where Perrin and Egwene are feels safe. Not sure about anyone else yet.
Yeah. Good point.
Well, let's just jump right into it. It starts with a cold open of Nynaeve being dragged by her braid by a monster.
It was so awesome.
That's really cool.
She's not necessarily the dragging by her braid part, but she's badass. That opening scene.
Well, yeah.
Badass.
In the water.
Yes.
Yeah, so a Trolloc sees a wounded Trolloc and is like, well, that's fresh meat. I like eating Trolloc more than I like eating girl.
Is that what that was? Or was the Trolloc putting him out of his misery? Though he seemed to be quite enjoying it. So you might be right.
It was a feast day. It was Christmas. It was Christmas in Trolloc Town, I think. Dave Grolloc Town.
Well, actually, does that give credence to the idea that he had no intention of eating her? Remember, we were talking about this before.
That they dragged her away.
Yeah.
He didn't, I don't want to say harm her, but yeah, he didn't maim her in any way. So yeah, it might. But I was thinking of it. I'm like, okay, the Trollocs are smart, right? I was realizing that through that whole thing of them going into the pool and being able to kind of think for themselves. Mm-hmm. And I really thought that the Trolloc was putting the other one out of its misery as opposed to just feasting.
What'd you think, Catherine?
I just thought he was going at it. It was killing spree.
Going to town.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, look. Yeah.
This one
wasn't bleeding. I smell blood. I'm going to go. So.
No. Nynaeve runs away, runs through the forest, Trolloc pursuit. Rah, rah, rah. Rah, rah, rah. She goes to the sacred pools and hides. The Trolloc is able to sniff her, knows she's somewhere in there, gets into the pool, starts stabbing into the deep water. Nynaeve pulls a predator move, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, covered in mud.
Rambo. From the water.
From the water, takes its own sword.
Yeah, has the wherewithal to do that. Grab the sword,
stabby stab, and then the iconic braid flip.
That was
no. Let's not forget. Dragged underwater, which was so great to see. The image of them side by side, going down
the blood pool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that the growlers would be red bleeders. I thought that was black for some reason.
The growlers?
The Dave Growlers?
Yeah.
Dave Growlers. Hey, Lady Catherine, please don't ever say anything right for the rest of this whole entire series. I want nicknames for every go for it. There's no wrong name or wrong answer in this show.
Let's just call land buns.
The growlers.
I thought it would be black blood, not red.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because the poison that they leak into people is stop my hand.
It's black. Okay,
you're
right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, okay. So to that end, Perrin has a wound on his leg. but it doesn't have that black festering quality to it that Moiraine and Tams showed. What do you think about that?
Well, we didn't see the wound this episode.
But we talked about it last time.
We talked about it last time.
With poison.
And we were wondering whether it was kind of a scratch or a bite, or so maybe it's a different type of wound. But you're right, Ryan. I mean, whatever his wound was didn't seem nearly as bad as we talked about Tams from the very beginning. You know, Rand's dad, like immediately his was disgusting,
fatal,
inducing, and Moraine's was really gross too. But his wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Now is hers poison too? Because it looked kind of pussy.
Well, yes, we do get confirmation because Nynaeve says this is a poison I'm not familiar with.
Right.
Okay.
All right, before we move on, I just want to remind everybody at the end of this episode, we're going to be taking questions from Twitter. So the call has been put out and questions have been pouring in. So we will make sure, Dan, we give time for that.
Pouring in. All right, so let's move on. So Nynaeve, it cuts to Nynaeve. We have the opening sequence, and then Nynaeve is where the last episode ends, with her with a dagger to Lan's throat. She allows Lan to get a superior position where he's standing with his hand. He was better when he was on his knees. And
that's what she said.
We both said that.
You girls. And then she takes a stabby stab at him. He puts her like in a chokehold. I think it's a chimera, maybe a triangle lock. Ryan, Joe Rogan, what move did he do?
I thought it was a rear naked.
Rear naked. Okay, rear naked choke. And she bites his hand and he conks her on the head. Boom, you're out.
Basically sleeper.
We wake up later where she's tied to a tree and is pretty much saying, hey, you gotta heal Moiraine. She's like, I ain't gotta do shit.
She threatens him from the position of being tied to a tree.
Right.
So, but again, ballsy. Pretty badass.
I don't see any other wisdom tied to a tree.
Right. She's gonna die. You got me. That's it. Pretty confident.
Yep.
And rightfully so. Clearly, he let her go. He let her go.
So let's just stick with Nynaeve, Moiraine, and Lan right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Apparently, Moiraine is unconscious most of the episode. She is just faded. Lan is very concerned, and Nynaeve is pretty much saying, you need me or she's gonna die. She goes on a foraging expedition, finds some flowers, finds some fungus, has a mortar and pestle in her Batman utility belt.
It's a good thing she still had all her materials with her when she got dragged by the Trolloc. I realized that when she had all her little ointments, and she doesn't say how she found him, and he's very curious to know how she found him. Mm-hmm. And she even lets him ask and then doesn't answer. So I'm curious as hell as how she found him when, they're running away from every Fade and Trolloc and evil thing out there, but somehow she was able to track them down. And track them down, but not her friends. Right? They're all split up at this point. So
right.
Who knows how they all got to the three very different worlds that they're all in. But she didn't track who she was looking for, or maybe she was looking for Moiraine. I don't know.
And it was on a horse too, because at the very end, they're all got horses. So she not only escaped the Growler, she got all her supplies and a horse.
Right.
Yeah, she was near home, right? Because she went to those sacred pools. So
yeah, but I think the horses were like everything was like demolished. I don't think there was horses with alive after the.
Yeah, good question.
Well,
she tamed one in nature and rode it bareback.
Yeah.
let me ask you guys. So Nynaeve, she says her role as wisdom is to protect the town. The town has been destroyed, but is in need of medical attention still, I would imagine. Is this a responsible move by Nynaeve to leave the Two Rivers and pursue the kids, or to stay back and to heal people?
That's a good question. And something else that struck me is she said, "Where are my friends?" So she even used a term not like, "I am the protector of this town, and these are my
charges."
My charges, yeah. But where are my friends?
That's a good point.
You know what though? But if we take the whole episode as one, you find out later on as to why. So it's kind of hard to, you watch the whole episode, it gives you an answer as to why she left. Huh?
Why?
Because they mentioned the 5.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got to be one of the 5. So that's probably why.
She says that she won't help until she gets answers she wants. And Len's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Well, if she dies, then she dies, I guess, unless I get my answers." What answers do you think she's looking for?
Where her friends are.
That's what I thought it was too. Because she asked, "Where are my friends?" He wouldn't tell her. I thought that was the answer she was looking for.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's jump away from Nynaeve Quinn, medicine woman. Let's jump to Rand and Mat. Rand and Mat are on Rocky Mountain High, not Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. The city's in the background. They've gone several miles, but Rand is still calling for his friends, and Mat's like, "Dude, knock it off. This ain't gonna go well." They decided that they're gonna still go east because that's where Egwene would have gone.
There was the debate though, right? He's like, "I'm gonna go. I need to go home," and then Matt's like, "She's not going home. She's going to the White Tower." And then later, Matt's all, "She's dead," or "She's not going to the White Tower." So Matt seemed to sort of change his tune through the episode a little bit as well.
Oh, okay. You saw that? I saw that Mat wanted to go home, and Rand's like, "No, we're going east."
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I didn't realize it was Mat who wanted. Maybe I didn't.
I don't know that what he wanted to, but he seemed to convince. Because at first, Rand, he was looking for Egwene and thought he wanted to go home, and Mat said, "She's not going home."
Okay. I didn't catch that.
They say all roads lead to Tar-Valon, and Mat instructs him that that's not how roads work, which is a funny thing. They are. There is a little squabbling before they overlook that little town and that quarry-looking thing.
The mining town.
And we'll get to them in a minute in the town. But right now, Egwene and Perrin are on a completely different ecosystem.
All of them. Every corner from leaving that shadow town.
Yeah.
It's a different ecosystem.
So they are on windy plains that are you hear wolves everywhere, which pulls their two dynamics together. We have someone who listens to wind and someone the wolves yell at them.
True.
There is they decide to light a fire. The wolves are coming. They're like, "Let's light a fire." Perrin is trying to light it with Layla's dagger against the flint. He cuts himself. He's like, fuck. Let me fucking do this. I gotta fucking do this. And Egwene kind of closes her eyes and does a little hand cup thing. Exactly, G-Mama. And the fire sparks. Perrin is jovial about it. Says, "I don't know if I did that or you, but if you could channel us up some food and water, that'd be awesome."
So, yeah, that was very interesting to me because at first I thought I didn't quite catch that she started the fire. I don't know. It seemed, maybe I wasn't paying well enough attention, but it didn't seem like a huge. I mean, there was no like lightning. There was no spark. I mean, she did this, and then it just showed, and there were flames in the fire.
Was there a tinkle?
There was.
I didn't hear it.
I think there was a tiny tinkle.
Oh, was there? Oh, okay.
Whoosh.
And then when he said that, and then he used that word like you're to channel. So, which I think we've only heard in relation to Aes Sedai.
Well, he takes it pretty. It takes it right on the chin. No big deal.
He was very nonchalant about it. He's like, all right, you got a power. Cool. I want a
He was
sandwich.
just happy there was fire.
Cool. I want a sandwich.
All right, so now
Cool. I want a sandwich.
I don't know why he didn't talk to the wolves, though, if he's got that power.
what do you mean? What power?
Does he?
Well, remember he was like calmed the wolves before?
So you think he has the power, or the wolves just decided not to bite him?
No, I think he's got control over animals.
Okay. Right
The
on.
wolf whisperer.
He does not seem to realize that, or he seemed pretty scared when the wolf came up. He didn't seem confident in this ability
They're
he
actually
has.
running from him like this entire
Right,
episode.
they're fleeing wolves.
Right, yeah.
But the wolves.
I mean, the wolves don't seem to bother him. We always hear the wolves when he's around, and they don't bother him. I mean, they even potentially healed his leg, but I don't know that there's I mean, I guess maybe there's a connection. I don't know if he can talk to or communicate to them.
And Egwene says that she feels like the wolves led them to this path.
Right.
Right.
So before we go too far, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the interactions between Perrin and Egwene right now?
I still love Perrin. He is so brotherly and such a good friend, and kind of even that what we were just describing, how she just starts a fire out of nothing, and he's like, all right, cool, and doesn't make a big deal out of it, and then he's like, you need to rest, let me take care of you, and literally takes her under his wing, or to protect her, and so he is just a protector and a very caring guy, and loves his friends. So
There's a lot of physicality between them. Like there's that moment by the fire, and then before they meet the Tinkers, they have this very long hug, and she's telling him it's not his fault. But
Right. He was like, I'm going first. And she's like, you don't have to protect me, Perrin. Let's face this together. And they walk side by side. It was beautiful.
right.
I thought it was more like siblings, but I do believe that he has so many secrets and that there's a lot more to him than anyone knows.
What do you guys
Well,
think? Go ahead.
He hasn't even told
No,
him
I don't
about
hear
killing
this.
his wife, about the dreams. I mean,
About his leg, the big injury on his leg.
Yeah.
To her, right? They're traveling together.
Let's talk about the dream.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy dream.
yeah. Whoa.
He wakes up. He's like, Layla, where are you? My bed is empty. He walks around and finds a wolf eating the innards of his dead wife, but his dead wife kind of looks at him.
Not so
but
dead.
beforehand, there was eyes in the mirror window, like fire eyes
Yeah.
in the window when he's walking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if and then when he's walking, it's like he turns into the fire eyes.
No, I
Down the
thought,
hall.
I
Yes.
thought he was confronting or like facing the.
I thought he just got kind of conformed into it and then continued on. I don't know.
No, very specifically, he's walking through his doorway. It flashes. He disappears. In his place is that man standing and continuing the walk towards the camera. And then it flashes and it's back to Perrin.
Okay, so I didn't know there was, And then when he goes in and sees his wife, I think since he killed his wife and the wolf is then eating her carcass at the same area where he killed his wife, the wolf is him. A symbolization of him.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's right in the stomach.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Catherine, well done.
I'm with you on that.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Now, how about the eyes? Like, so she had these green kind of like creep show eyes. That's a callback.
Because she passed.
Okay, you just think it's because she's just dead, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you
or
think?
her
Do you think
spirit's
there's
not
going to
there.
be any? Do you think that's going to be like a?
I think everything can be a thing. Everything I'm seeing and looking at, and I mean, I feel like that could be a callback. I don't feel like anything is being done haphazardly, and they're not showing us anything without a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Especially based on the pace of this, it is whipping through. Our friends are all split across the country now, doing their own thing.
I did not think about anything about the eyes. I just thought it was more of that guy with the fire eyes and the wolf. I didn't think that much about her and
her eyes. Okay, no.
I didn't either. But to answer your question, Ryan, I think everything can come back, and everything can be something. So that's why I've been watching these a couple times. Kind of after we talk, I'm like, all right, now I want to watch it again and see what.
Right. The last point about Egwene and Perrin is they meet these hippies that ask, "Do you know the song?" I would have started singing "Hallelujah" by Leonard Cohen.
I was thinking the song in they were singing earlier.
Oh, the "We from Manetheren" song.
Yeah, because that's the only song I had heard.
I would have sang "Nobody knows the trouble I've seen."
I would have sang a Shanty Girl song. I'm a Shanty girl
in a Shanty world.
What are your thoughts about the Tinkers?
I think they're gypsies.
They're gypsies. Yeah, I think they talk about that they're the traveling people, and I quite like them. That's why I said I feel like they're in a safe place, and I like that. There were a couple times in this episode where as they were explaining, they're like, people have stories about us. We're the ones that steal your children and eat your food, do something. I can't remember. Eat your children, I think they said, and steal something.
Gold.
But
hide your kids, hide your wives.
Right. But they were so people judge them without knowing them. But they were very welcoming. You have a place here whenever you need, warm food, warm fire. But
I'm sorry, I just don't trust anyone. You don't come up and start putting a towel on me and giving me food just because, or you'd have nothing. So there's got to be something behind it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like there is a people, and they are. I mean, if you look, they had people of all race, color, creed, age there. So to me, I see it as this. Everyone is safe here. Everyone has a place here. You come. I don't know what they're after, why they're traveling and where they're going, but I really took it as something where, just this idea of we judge people always, and they are people that are judged, and you don't know until you really get to know them. I think Cassie, I would think kind of sometimes on the flip side where somebody comes across it might be that case of don't trust somebody or don't trust what you first see or hear. I feel safe. I feel safe with these guys.
I think it's Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't leave.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, Dark.
So let's jump into Matt and Rand. This is the bulk of this episode. Is
chapter.
Matt in this chapter? Yeah. Matt and Rand comes across a small village. There's a dude in a cage that has some crystal. Matt's like, "Hey, I see that." They go into the bar. We meet Dana, who is not shy.
What she seems, right? See, not what she seems.
She's not what she seems. She's not shy about saying she wants to leave town. She wants to see the big city. She's heard about Chicago. What, St. Louis? There's a big arch. What? I want to see it. But she is stuck. And Rand goes out and chops some wood while Matt serves some beer.
Well,
but if you notice,
before that, they have the dude who's supposed to be a gleeman, which I would think makes people happy, who sings the most depressing song ever in the world. And I did not like
that. Man.
It was not gleeful at all. And I really, it was so annoying.
Yeah, he was trying out for the Eagles. He
Right.
failed. He's like,
Not
his
like
whole life, he's been like, man, I'm going to make it the Eagles one day.
Yeah. Anyway, we met that dude, and not what he seems, because he seemed like a total asshole. And then it comes around, and he was like, he ended up kind of saving them and being a little understanding to Matt. So
now, if you looked at the bar and all the people in it, that was a very diverse, just like it was at the Gypsy camp.
Everywhere.
There was very diverse, a lot of different people, but it wasn't safe there. So just because there's a lot of different people doesn't mean it's
true.
The Gypsy camp is safe.
It was a welcoming aspect.
Dana goes ahead and says, yeah, you can have a room. In fact, here's your own cabin that's soundproof. Listen, Foo Fighters were here 4 months ago. They recorded right here. They recorded 3 songs.
Yes.
And by the
Growlers?
and by the way, alluding to the fact that what did she use to phrase that I wanted to write down, like a scoot and tickle, or a slap and a tickle.
Yeah.
Hitch and a tickle or something.
Yeah, slap and tickle, I think.
Yeah.
So alluding to the fact that they were a couple, which I don't think she really thought they were, but it was still funny.
And Rand's like, hey, if I was gay, do you think I'd want to be with that dirtbag?
Seriously, I can do much better.
If I want a man, I'd get another man, not Matt.
The best.
I'm not offended that you thought I was gay. I'm offended that you thought I settled for that badger hunter over there. She hits on him. She leans in for a kiss, and he pulls back. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And she's like, oh, I was a bit too strong. And she latches the door, and she says,
like,
yeah.
Let me answer the strength for strength.
She's like, it was the braid, right? It was too much like her. He's like, who? She's like, Egwene. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Dun, dun, dun.
So was I.
Yeah, that was definitely, that was a bit of a twist that I wasn't expecting. But then he, like, she grabbed his sword, I think, right? And was like holding him at sword point, and he's like, oh man, I'm screwed. Really? Like, really? He couldn't just like take her? He seemed to give up pretty quickly.
She disarmed him. She went at him with his little stabby, and she definitely disarms him with a spin move. No, he realized quickly that he was outmatched. I thought
She had the much bigger stick.
She just had the sword out, and she's just looking out. And he's like, help, banging against it. And she's like, yeah, knock it off.
Where did the power come from? Is he now going to be super strong? That she said it was like full steel.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
And he was like he hulked his way out. He just 2 hits and that door was down. So there was something super strength or whatever that he
couldn't fight her, but he could pull down a door.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's kind of, I guess, where I was like, he seemed to give up so quickly. And to your point, Ryan, he was at the other end of a pointy sword.
But we literally have not seen him once even unsheath that sword.
He's done nothing with that sword. Yeah. And I guess I wasn't even clear that it was his sword, just because until later he said, she's got my sword.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine, myself in a situation where I've never been trained in, any sword fighting. And all of a sudden there's someone like threatening me with a really, really large sword. I don't know what I would be doing also. And it's hard to remember that he's only really, I guess, shot at animals, right? We've only seen him with the bow, trying to defend.
Yes, but it is his sword. I mean, I guess maybe his dad gave it to him. I mean, but yeah, it's also his sword. So I don't know what they're good at.
So do you think when the dad pulled the sword out from underneath the bed, he was like pulling out Rand's sword?
Yeah. Or the sword that Rand has, whether it's Rand's sword or the dad's.
Okay, I think it's safe to assume that that's the same sword. But what do you think is up with that sword? Like, so we got introduced to it by Dad pulling it out from a box in the middle of a fight underneath his bed or something. Like it was like hidden.
Is that the gun safe?
Would be cool if it was the mom's sword.
Ooh, great!
Because it was in a box. We talked about everything being in a box too.
Yeah,
It's not. It doesn't seem like the place where you like have it at hand. It seems like a keepsake. Right, and this box is more of a keepsake box as opposed to something that you use all the time.
Yeah, and seeing how the dad fared against the Trolloc, he clearly wasn't secretly pulling that out and practicing when Rand's not around.
Or proficient in it. Yeah, maybe it was hers.
Dana says that she'd like to see the Stone of Tyr, the Lion Throne of Camelin, an Ogier setting, maybe even a Dave Grolic. Does this add to your world building at all? Does it expand anything for you, or are they just words?
Okay, first off, I didn't know what the heck you were doing at first. I thought you were just babbling. I have no idea what the hell you just said.
Real words.
When you said the growler, I knew what you were talking about, but I didn't realize you were talking about the show still.
Yeah. So yeah, it just works.
But because when she said it to me, it was like, yeah, there's a lot more, and kind of like everything we said. I imagine we'll find out, right? We'll find out more about what the Trolloc War is all, or we'll find out more about an Ogier setting.
The Stone of Tyr, Camelin, and the Iron Throne of Camelin. Do you when you hear this stuff, like as a non-reader, are you like, oh, I really want to, or are you just like, fuck, more shit I don't know? Honestly. It's like, oh, that's confusing.
Neither of those.
Guess.
It's just like, okay, those are things.
Yeah,
It's like, I want a story to move from a bedroom to a living room to a kitchen. All right, let's talk about the gleeman, Tom Maryland. We meet this gleeman who had just arrived. He was the only other stranger besides Matt and Rand. He sang some, singer-songwriter ballad, and then goes and what was that?
I'm sorry, I call it a stupid song. And maybe it wasn't the song itself, it was just how he sang it.
You don't like the way I sing.
The song itself, sorry to digress, was about the dragon, right? That ended the world. I had the captions on. I need to probably, as he was singing, I'm like, these are probably words that I should pay close attention to. But it was about, right? That's what it was about? It was like the story of maybe
correct. I think it was the man who could not forget, or what was the name of it? Hold on, I got notes.
Yeah, I thought it was about a guy on a coke bender in Vegas.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I gotta rewatch.
When he said the world ended, or it ended the world, or broke the world, or something. I thought.
Have you ever done good coke?
The man who can't forget.
It'll break your world.
He was talking about, I can see you in the river, I can see you on the mountain. And I thought that he was kind of giving a story of them. It seemed kind of depressing, but it kind of sounded like, I've seen what you've been here. I may have thought too much into it, but it just kind of sounded like a little bit of their
adventure so far.
Yeah. And then when he tried to get the person out of the cage, the gentleman out of the cage. Ooh,
very
id or my ego. With the amethyst, the person in the cage that was supposed to be like a growler, but he was just as deadly, but not as deadly.
The term was an Aiel.
Right.
Aiel. Yeah, and go ahead, guys.
It's called amethyst.
Yeah, and he referenced him. No, I think the amethyst was the gem or whatever he had in his pocket, right? That Matt wanted to steal. Yeah, so he did. He said, again, this was another one of those things where they're not what they seem. A lot of people assume that they're bad. They made a judgment and they killed him without really knowing. But they referenced the color of his hair, and that's the only way you would know what one of those people are. And
same color as Rand's
was red, right?
Yep.
Is that right? Okay, that's what I thought too. I'm like, I think he's got red hair, and Rand has red hair, so
interesting.
Let's see.
Yes, indeed. So, Matt gets his pocket picked, and then Tom instantly steals it back, it seems.
Yeah.
The guy bumped into Matt and then bumped into Tom, And then Matt's like, where's my coin purse? And Matt's like, yeah, don't trust people. And he pointed to that. So Tom's got some pretty slick fingers. He also goes around and buries people's dead, I guess.
Yeah, so he started as like this unhappy gleeman who steals money and is kind of a dick, and then goes and does something admirable, like burying
I think he knew the person, or it was a friend of the person.
Somebody who was killed, he said, not out of justice, but out of fear. Right? So
correct.
There's something more going on with him. He seemed nicer at the end than when we first met him. Because he stole Matt's money.
And said, consider this a life lesson. And Rand's like, that's an expensive lesson. And Tom's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Full on thief.
Donation for the gleeman. So,
I understand. I understand people not tipping, Ryan. I get a little upset when people don't tip. I throw money to people all the time, right, Grace?
Throw it at him, and maybe you should hand it to him. That's really weird.
When she's dancing on the table,
take this.
There.
Yeah, 6 feet distance. I throw it. I turn it into a paper airplane.
All right, so do you think there's a turning point for Tom and his attitude towards Matt?
Yeah, when they met and kind of had that interaction.
Tet for tet?
Yeah, well, so a couple things, right? He seemed to believe that Matt was genuine when Matt was like, I came here I need money. I want to get home.
For my sisters.
Yeah, I want to get home for my sisters. And so the gleeman turned his back and let him take the money. And then he's like, all right, but now you took something, you need to repay it. So yeah, there was this sort of like respect or understanding that came through that experience. And then Matt stole his money back.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's like, yoink. And says, hey, can I get my money back? He's like, I already got it.
Made you look.
Yeah.
Catherine, how did Rand get out of that room?
I think he used his chiseled jaw.
Yep. Yeah.
And just kind of Hulk smashed his way through.
Okay. Yeah.
All in the jaw.
Yeah, the line. But I wonder, okay, now there's
the non-chiseled jaw coming out.
What? How dare you?
Okay, so completely random, but the next episode, I wonder if they're going to be with Tom, if they're going to have the knife back, the sword back, the arrows, his jacket, all that stuff that they left in the room. Are they going to go back and get it just like she did? All of a sudden, she had all her stuff?
Rand did reclaim his sword from a dead Dana. But yeah, the rest of like his bow and stuff, I don't think they grabbed.
No, so I wonder if in the next one he'll just have it, like.
I assume Matt probably still has the knife that he found in the Shadowlands. We didn't see it, I don't think.
Yes, he did. He pulled it out when the guy came, when he was going to steal the amethyst.
Right, they both had knives. Yes, you're right. Yeah. It was like the West Side Story, or Beat It.
little pocket knives.
Well, you know what, Grace? Once you're a jet all the way.
So I've heard, from your first cigarette to your last dying day.
Pink ladies all the way.
All right, at the very end, we see Moiraine and Lan right up to where there's some women up on some cliffs, and the red woman that we saw earlier who tortured that man, the hippie, that gentleman, as Lady Catherine calls him, she saunters out on her horse and she's like, oh, if you're here to help, it's too late. We learn that this is Leandrin Sedai. She knows Moiraine Sedai. And they pull out a man that they've captured in a cage. He is surrounded by people as they kind of cart him out. He is a long-haired, bearded man, like the hippies.
About the same age.
He does not look 20, but he could be.
And they pulled him out of Cheech and Chong's bus.
Hey.
but not so happy as he would have been if he came out of Cheech and Chong's bus. He seemed quite.
Yeah, so, any thoughts? What are you guys thinking when you're watching that?
I thought that she was the most awake during that whole time than she'd been the whole show. And all I could think of was fix me, not the person. You know,
Right.
she's dying on the horse, you know. Come give me help first, and then we'll discuss him.
Well, what Lance says is, Moiraine, we need you. And
Yeah.
she comes to.
And right before we see the guy in the cage, there were women on horses up top, and I think one of them was in green. Right, so I'm thinking we've kind of now seen some of these different women all in different colors, and then she's in red. To me, it ended with something that seemed like a big deal, but I had no idea what it was. I mean, I think she said he says he's the Dragon Reborn, and then they showed and they ended on this guy, and it was like, okay, I don't know who he is.
There's no way possible. You got to be, you know, unless he's related to the gypsy in the beginning or the hippie in the beginning.
Right. So to me, I felt like, and this was maybe the first times I felt like if I had read the book, that would be a big deal to me. It's kind of the same, like I watch a lot of Marvel with my kids, and something will happen and they'll be like, oh my God, can you believe that? And like, I don't know what that means. I know it's cool, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But it's sort of that inside, like you need to be on the inside to really know. I felt like it was that. So I'm like, okay, that was cool. And I even asked Dan, I'm like, is that somebody? Is that somebody we should?
So,
But it seemed like a competition almost. Oh, you came to help? Yeah, we don't need your help. We already got him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've been doing whatever your thing is we got him. We did it. You're not, you know, like they're not together on it.
It's like when a local PD and the feds come in and they're like, this is our jurisdiction. They're like, sorry, guys, we're taking over.
I try to imagine that woman having a normal conversation. I feel like everything she's ordering food, it sounds like that. She's like making love, it sounds like that.
Well, and I was thinking at first too, when it was interesting because we saw the women and it's like, oh, Lan's been talking about how he needs other Aes Sedai to help her. But then he didn't say, oh, great, there's help is here. He said, Moiraine, we need you. And then it didn't really seem like, my first thought was like, oh, great, somebody could actually heal her. And then that went away pretty quickly. It didn't seem like anyone was going to really be willing to help her.
Right.
Moiraine's like, oh, hey, yeah, hi, guys. Yeah, no big deal. Hi. I'm not dying. Are you dying? Who, guys, ladies, who was your favorite character in this episode? We'll start with you, G Mama.
I thought you were going to ask me that question. So as I was watching it, I was trying to think that. And I think Perrin, even though we didn't see him very much, he was very endearing when we did see him. And again, I feel like we see him weak, but we see him still trying to protect. And so I like that.
If you had to give Perrin a nickname, what would it be?
Brother. Big brother, because he's really big too.
Okay. Lady Catherine, who was your favorite character in this episode?
My favorite was the wisdom chick.
Nynaeve.
Yeah.
The badass.
Yeah.
The wisdom
Yeah.
check.
The wisdom chick.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's going down in the Cassiisms.
I'm sorry.
Wisdom
You
chick,
said the name and I
the
just said,
Brady
uh-huh.
bitch.
Yeah, the
Brady
one who had all the
bitch.
stuff in the braid. Yeah. No, she was cool. She was proactive and not reactive.
Yeah, somebody who can threaten somebody when she's tied to a tree is pretty cool.
Right. And what was the iconic scene for you for this episode?
Okay, for me, it was literally when she said, I've dreamed of the five of you. I was on the couch going, yes, I knew. I mean, just like patting myself on the back, like I knew it was. That was for me when they said five. I just was so excited.
Yeah, I thought of you when I heard that too. I'm like, holy shit.
I don't know what.
For me, it was the braid flip. The bat at like just standing there, and that braid is freaking magnificent. So I quite liked that. I feel like that'll be a meme.
She said that Dana said that she had contacted one of the eyeless. How do you think that worked, Cassie?
The dark mark. You have this cool tattoo, and you push it, and then they come
with your wand.
I don't know. Yes, with your wand.
Oh yeah.
Do you kill sheep and place it in a certain shape?
Ooh, hey.
like a moon thing up in the sky. You put up a little skull face.
Yeah, the skull, exactly.
Like the Batman signal. I did not even think about that.
I didn't either.
But she also dreamed of them. So I think she's in connection with them subconsciously, because she dreamed of the 5. She knew who they were. She knew they were going to be there. So she may be able to talk to them through dreams, through her mind. If she's devoted to him, then he's in control of her too. He can see out her eyes, kind of thing. You know,
like a mind text, like "Hey, you up?"
That's a booty call.
It just sup. SGP question mark sup.
So, very different than you up.
Yeah, true.
Amazon was great by giving us 3 episodes to start with. We're going to have one each week going forward.
There's a lot that happens. There's a lot that happens in one episode, as we've just kind of shown. There's a lot going on.
Ryan, did you want to get Twitter questions?
Yeah, let's do. Hey, someone turn that radio off. All right, here we go. We're going to start with another question from another turning of Betty. I need more non-reader thoughts on the interactions between Lan and Nynaeve.
Nothing.
Okay.
I have absolutely no thoughts about them.
They're just kind of contentious with each other.
Yeah.
Over Moiraine.
Well,
he does leave and says, take care of her. And she's like, I won't. And he's like, yeah, you will. And she does.
Yeah, they have this contentious relationship because he is sworn to protect her, Moiraine, and Nynaeve doesn't like her. So they're kind of just immediately at odds, but also trying to kind of work together maybe not work together is the wrong phrase, but they do want the same end goal in a way.
Well, she wants her answers, and if she's dead, she won't get her answers. So
but yeah, they're just I don't know, not much.
Well, when she tried to stab him in the freaking face,
he was surprised too.
Right.
Troy Sykar says, "Are there things that took you out of the moment while you were watching?"
Tom's song.
Okay. Yes.
Like very much. Like it really did. I was super annoyed. Didn't like it. It did not feel like it did not feel like how somebody would be singing in that time or that place at all.
Yeah. I was surprised by the verse kind of nature of it. I didn't expect that at all. I agree with you 100%, G-Mama. Lady Catherine, what moment took you out? Anything that took you out of the moment while you're watching?
No, I just more yelled at the TV kind of thing. Like, when the wolves are chasing, I'm like, yeah, stop, talk to him, that kind of stuff. But
nice.
I didn't hate that song as much
dance
as you
with
did.
the wolves. Okay.
I had a visceral reaction to that.
Yeah, I did not. That's why I like that kind of music more, I guess.
Yeah, when we were talking about this, that very part in our last live stream, several people in chat were very, very happy with the song. They thought it was epic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it all has to do with the
There was one other part that took me out too, was this sort of chase scene with when Rand found Matt when he was running away from the girl,
Dana,
the barmaid Dana, and I don't know exactly what happened. They were running, and then all of a sudden they walk around a sheet that was hanging up, and she's there like she was there with the sword. So again, it was one of those things. I'm like, seriously, you like walk right into her. I mean, it just I don't know exactly what was going on, but I think I yelled at Stevie too. I'm like, really, you just stepped around a sheet and she's there. And they
came off at the pass.
And then they stopped. They're like, oh, whoa. It's like, well, fucking run behind the sheet again. They're like, oh, you got us.
It's a one-way sheet, Grace. The sheet said exit only. You can't go back in.
All right. Cool. Troy also asks, have you watched episodes more than once? And if so, what are some things you missed the first time? So let's think about all 3 episodes. Something that the second time around, you're like, oh, wow.
I have watched them each twice-ish, maybe not twice full through. Kind of the first time, not as closely. Yeah, there are things that as I'm watching it the second time, kind of as I said before, I don't think anything is done haphazardly. For instance, when Matt was like grave digging or whatever, like stealing from that dead body, there was something. It was like a small bear or like a small figurine.
Yes.
That they showed and he wrapped up. So something like that where I'm like, okay, all of these things I feel like at some point are going to be significant or can be significant. I mean, maybe they won't be, but so it's just little things like that I'm looking at and saying, all right, where are we going to see that again?
So you're more cataloging as opposed to trying to make predictions?
Yeah, I'm not a huge prediction type person generally. I mean, sometimes something will just come where I'm like, oh, I bet this is what's going on. But I like to watch, and catalog and just say, okay, I wonder where they're going to take me.
Catherine, do you think that the items that Matt pillaged from this body are going to come back up again in this story?
Oh, yeah. Did you see the way the gold was around that amethyst? It was gorgeous. Yeah, it's going to be significant. And I don't know if that was a bear or a wolf, because I'm thinking of Perrin.
I know. I didn't see the big wolf tail.
Yeah, but I have not watched the last one twice, but the others I did. And I will look deeper into things when I'm watching it again. So the last one I haven't watched twice to, dissect more and look into, but now wait, they look that way. Is it this, but I will watch it again.
Nice. Yes. Awesome. We're going to keep going with the Twitter questions. Lisa Donaldson asks, what questions are they left with after the first few episodes?
Everything. I mean, literally, they have answered nothing. They've just set the scenes and gone, okay, here they are. And I'm like, okay, so what, who, where, there's so many questions.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of so I agree. There's a lot of questions. One that is, and maybe it's because of how this one ended, is this difference of the Aes Sedai and their colors, and are some good and some bad. And we've seen, right, Moiraine is blue, and I think she's good. She's trying to help these people. The other one is red, and she seems pretty, I don't know. I'm not sure I like her. We saw a yellow one that was burning, so I don't know much about her. And then there was a green one that just was shown. So there's something.
Hey, Grace, I think she's dead.
Well, she's dead now, right? I would assume.
You said we don't know much about her. I
hope so. I hope so. That would be a horrible death. She's been burning for weeks.
This way. But we don't know. So I'm wondering how these kind of different people work together or don't. That competition, maybe that Lady Catherine was talking about. That's a question that I have.
Cool. No, thank you.
And then the who is the dragon? Is it 5 people? Is it 4 people? Is it 1 person? Is it this dude that we just saw? Probably not, but.
he doesn't look 20.
So, Lady Catherine, did any questions come to mind while she was answering hers? Or just still everything?
Oh, just so many. There is so many.
Okay.
The one she said, and then basically it's just laid out as to where they're going, kind of, because some of them still want to go back. But I have so many questions. But I do think the girls are all working together. They just have different powers, and that's why they wear different colors, I think.
Okay.
Different powers. Oh, cool. Okay, now our friend Frenzy asks, who do you think is the Dark One? It's a very interesting phrasing of that question.
Who?
I would, or what, I guess. So let's give it a sick, SIC question mark. Who or what do you think is the Dark One is what I want to say.
Yeah, who is not something I would have thought.
What's the Dark One? Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I haven't thought that far. I think. I mean, this one episode we heard Dana. I don't know why I can't remember this girl's name.
Dana
said that she. I think they refer to her as a dark friend, or so she's.
Dark friend.
So
and
yeah,
she mentions a Shamael. She mentions the name of Shamael.
She did mention that guy's name. Who? I don't completely remember what she said he did, but. I don't know.
Do you think the dark? What about flame eyes guy, like round head flame eyes? What do we think about him? Do you think he's the Dark One?
I think so, and I think they tried to infer that was Perrin, and I don't know because of the dream he had, the way he morphed into him and not. But if she dreamed of the 5 of them and she doesn't know who it is, then once she needed to kill them all. So then I would assume that none of them would be it.
Well, the Dark One or the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, the Dark One.
Is the Dark One, the Dragon, and the Dragon Reborn the same thing? They're not, right?
I think they're different.
I think they're different too. I'm getting confused. This question's confusing me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about the Dark One enough.
Yeah, that's it's esoteric.
So we have Eric, third generic of nowhere important, Alan. He asked, does everything make sense to you? And then
clearly no.
And then, no. And he has some commentary that he adds of his own. Thanks for the question. Yes, nothing is making sense. I think maybe his question though is he's wondering is the confusion? Is it enticing or is it off-putting?
I wouldn't say nothing is making sense. It's not all wrapped up. It's not like every episode is like kind of a beginning and end and we know everything going on. I think that would be boring if it was. It's not so confusing that I don't know at all what's going on. I mean, the story is progressing. We're learning a little bit with each one. The characters are all being built and developed. We still have a ton of questions and they're still talking about things that I don't know yet and understand. So to me, it's not off-putting. So it's not necessarily confusing, but it's not all making sense yet. I don't think
no, and it's on a cliffhanger each episode. Like it leaves you with a question to want to watch the next one. So I think it's keeping us fascinated and interested.
Still keeping your interest. That's great. Got a couple more. This is so awesome. Thank you guys for your Twitter questions. So Paul Forget, MaTsDaGger comes in with a question. Where do you think the show should have more puppets?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what? If the Gleeman sang the song with a puppet, it would have been way better.
Right?
Yeah.
If Kermit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, great. Now, but he said seriously though, has the show made you interested in the books?
No.
Do you trust Moiraine to die? Why or why not? And this question comes from WOT Polls. WOT Polls. Thank you.
Lady Catherine, do you want to go first?
You know what? I did until the barmaid started saying those things as to what they wanted to do at the White Tower and this and that. And I had not questioned the White Tower or their going there before. And she's like, oh no, they want to kill you. They want to do this. They want to do this. And I was like, well, wait a minute. What do they really want in the White Tower? What are they really going to do to these people? And so then I just started to think about it. It just made me think twice as to what their intentions are. I trust her, but I don't know what her intentions are. So I don't know how much I trust her.
That's what I was going to say. She's complicated.
Yeah.
I think there are things that she is doing for good, but it seems like it might be for the greater good, maybe not for everyone's good. But that doesn't make, I don't know that makes sense.
Is it for theirs or the female's good?
Right. Yeah. For somebody. I mean, she's very intentional, and I don't know what those intentions are. In general, I feel like I trust her and that she's good, but there's definitely some underlying things there that I feel like she'll probably pull and have a good rationale as to why she did it. Right. We've already seen her do a couple things and say, well, here's why I did that. And here's why I did that. So it's like, all right.
Yeah, I can't lie,
okay.
but I don't have to tell the whole truth.
Right. And I can't kill somebody, but I did so.
Yeah. But yeah. And the guys are like, what are we going to do there? They're bringing her there. What are we? We just going to be in, another servant like him kind of thing?
Yeah. So we don't know. Yeah. Very good. We don't know really what they're going to there to do and what's going to happen to them when they get where.
Yeah. I trust that she'll keep them safe to get there, but I don't know what her intentions are afterwards.
Awesome.
And not everything is as it seems, as we're learning. So
Yes.
No. Is the White Tower, what are your thoughts about the White Tower? We have not seen it yet. What are your thoughts?
I've already used a Neverending Story reference, but I picture where the princess is in the Neverending Story in that big, huge White Tower. So that's what I think it looks like in terms of what is there and what will happen there. I mean, that might be, I have no idea. It could be good. It could be bad. It feels like, they're going there they're very purposeful in the need to get there, but I don't know if it's good or bad.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's what it was when we saw that one place. So I have no idea what it's going to look like.
Yeah, it could be just like a sleepover pillow fight with all those ladies together, just having a grand old time.
That's all
Or
we do
cat
when
fight.
we get together.
All right, the last question we got from Twitter comes from Lance Buns. Lance Buns asks, what is the perfect temperature for bathwater? And let's end on that. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been a great episode. We are going to come back next week. This has been so much fun. As always, like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We live stream often, and we'd love to have you join us. Our live streaming community is welcoming and fun, and some of the funniest people we know. Everyone, have a great day. We will see you soon. And as always, run for your lives, because this is the way of the leaf.